Hello students, we are going to learn General Science from the book Science Squared of class 4. Let us learn chapter 7, the sun and weather. In this chapter, we shall discuss about how heat is caused by the sun, how can we measure the heat, how sea breeze and land breeze are formed, how air currents are produced, and about evaporation, condensation and different forms of condensation. Let us begin the chapter. You know that the sun, wind, clouds and rain together make the weather. Sun causes the movement of air to make a breeze or wind, while evaporation of water makes clouds and rain. Thus, we can say that the sun is a controller of weather. Let us now learn about the heat rays from the sun. The sun shines all the time, giving hot rays while the earth rotates about its own axis. The part of the earth facing the sun has warmer day, while the other part has cooler night. At noon, the sun rays fall on the earth directly and hence we feel very hot. In the morning and in the evening, the sun rays are slanting and so we do not feel very hot. Let us perform an experiment to learn about the heat rays from the sun. Take a piece of cardboard. Draw a square of 10 cm length and 10 cm breadth in the middle. Cut it and make a square hole. Hold the cardboard 30 cm above the ground at noon. Adjust the cardboard so that it faces towards the sun. You will see the rays of light falling in the center of the shadow. Now trace the outline of the lighted patch. Repeat the same experiment in the evening and in the morning by slanting the cardboard towards the sun. You will feel that the sun rays falls directly at the noon time, occupies smaller area, while the sun rays falling slantingly in the morning and in the evening spreads over a larger area. What conclusions would you come from this experiment? You will find that the same amount of heat enters the hole at noon, in the evening and in the morning. However, the spreading of heat is larger area in the evening while it is less in morning. Thus, you will have less warmer evenings and mornings than at the noon. Similarly, the rays of the sun are direct in summer and slanting in winter. Let us now learn how to measure heat. We measure hotness by a thermometer. A thermometer is made up of a closed and long capillary tube with markings from 0 degree to 100 degree. The tube has a bulb containing mercury. We read temperature in degrees Celsius or degrees centigrade. The temperature of a normal person remains about 37 degrees Celsius. When the part containing the mercury is put in melting ice, it shows 0 degrees Celsius. And when it is inserted in boiling water, it shows 100 degrees Celsius. This means the temperature of the melting ice is 0 degrees Celsius, while the temperature of the boiling water is 100 degrees Celsius. The temperature helps to study the weather, helps us to note the highest maximum temperature during the day and minimum temperature during the night. Let us learn how heating and cooling process takes place in land and water. Sunlight falls on both land and water. The land gets warmer during the day and cooler after the sunset more quickly than water. Let us perform an experiment to find out this. Take some sand and water separately in 2 beakers. Keep them in the sun. Note down the temperature of both the beakers after an hour. You will see that the sand is hotter than water. Now keep them in shade and take the temperature after an hour. You will see that sand gets cooler than water. This shows that sand gets warmer and cooler more quickly than water. The difference in the rate of absorption and release of heat by the sand or land and by the water helps them to create the wind. It plays an important part in changing the weather. Let us now see what happens when the air is heated. Let us perform an experiment to find out what happens when air is heated. Tie a stick or a ruler with a piece of string in the middle. Now balance 2 large paper bags A and B of almost same size on the ruler, as shown in the picture. Heat bag A with the help of a lighted candle. You will find that bag A goes up. This is because air in bag A on heating becomes lighter and hence moves up. This proves that hot air is lighter and always goes up. Let us now learn how warm and cold air causes air currents. Let us now perform an activity to find out how air currents are formed. Make a box of cardboard as shown in the picture. Place a lighted candle on one side and a smoldering piece of paper on the other side of the cardboard. You will find that after some time, the air above the candle gets warm and hence goes up. The cold smoke is sucked into the box to occupy the place of the warm air. This smoke again becomes warm and goes up, making the cold smoke. Let us learn about the sea breeze. A current of moving air is called wind. A gentle wind is called breeze. The air current or breeze blowing from sea to land is known as sea breeze. During the day, the sun warms the land and water. As discussed earlier, the land gets heated faster and hence the air over the land also gets heated faster. However, the air over the water remains colder. The hot air above the land rises up and cold air from the seawater rushes to fill the space. This forms a sea breeze which is cool, pleasant as it carries water vapor. Let us learn about land breeze. The air current or breeze blows from land to sea is known as land breeze. After the sunset, the land loses its heat faster than the seawater. As the warm air over the sea expands and rises up. Now the cooler air from the land flows to fill its space. This forms the cool but dry land breeze. Sea breeze and land breeze maintain a moderate temperature and uniform climate at seacoast throughout the year. Sun causes evaporation. The process of changing water into water vapor is called evaporation. The heat of sunlight causes evaporation of water faster. When the water evaporates, the water vapor also rises up in the atmosphere. This forms clouds and rains. Wet clothes dry up due to the evaporation of water. Ponds go dry in the summer because of the evaporation by the hot sun. The amount of water vapor contained in the air is called humidity. Evaporation based on seasons. The rate of evaporation changes according to hot, cold, windy, dry or rainy seasons. Evaporation is faster in summer than in winter. Evaporation is faster on dry day than a rainy day. Evaporation is faster on a windy day than a calm day. Evaporation is faster when the exposed surface is large. Condensation. The process of cooling of water vapor into water is called condensation. When water evaporates, its vapors rises up. The cold air at great heights make the water vapor cool. The water vapor settles on tiny particles of dust in the air as small droplets of water, forming clouds. When clouds become heavy with water, they cause rain. Let us now learn about the different forms of condensation. The different forms of condensation includes fog, dew, frost, hail, snow. Let us learn these terms more clearly. Fog. When cold and dry air comes in contact with the warm water, a cloud is formed near the ground during winter. This is known as fog. We cannot see clearly across it. Dew. When the water droplets formed by the condensation of water vapor touches any cold surface such as leaves, flowers, cars, etc., it forms water drops. These drops are called dew. Frost. When the water vapor freezes, it forms a frost. We can also say when dew freezes, it becomes frost. Hail. When raindrops coming down pass through a very cold layer of air, they get frozen and forms hail. Snow. When water vapor is suddenly cooled, it gets freezed before it could get condensed into water. This is known as snow. Snowflake is a minute crystal which together and fall down in the form of puff, which we call it as a snowfall. People go to enjoy the sight of snowfall on hills like Missouri and Shimla during winter. Let us have a chapter recap. The sun causes changes in the weather. The sun heats the land and water. The land gets warmer and cooler more quickly than the water. Hot air expands because becomes lighter and rises. Cool air replaces hot air, causing the movement of air known as wind. The flow of air current from the sea to the land during the day is called sea breeze. The flow of air current from the land to the sea during the night is called land breeze. The change of water into vapor is called evaporation, and from vapor back into the water is called condensation. Evaporation and condensation leads to the formation of rain, fog, dew, frost, snow, and hail. This ends our chapter 7.